Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm Will, and I'm joined by my co-host over here, the Greeze. Say hello, Greeze.
And I'm joined by my best friend, Will, who, by the way, dude, we're coming up on 9 years
1 month
doing this show. Doesn't look like it.
You can tell we both aged.
Yeah, we've definitely gotten older.
Yeah.
For sure. We're definitely older than 9
Yeah,
individually.
well, that's true.
Individually. But I mean, as far as us painting a picture together, we're getting there. Dude, I just want to say off the top, like a lot of devastation in Kentucky and Tennessee, all around the Southeast, but we're going to be diving into some news here out of Kentucky. Obviously, there was, a horrible situation up there with flooding and storms and stuff, but just wanted to say that off the top, Will. What do we have on the news, baby?
Yeah, well, if you're not from this area, and by this area, I mean the Southeast in general, over last week, a lot of really aggressive storms came through. In where we live outside of Nashville, a lot of near misses of tornadoes. So kind of stressful. However, Kentucky got hit pretty hard, including the Buffalo Trace Distillery, which is off the Kentucky River. If you've ever visited there, you know how close it is to the banks of that river. And yeah, so there's lots of aerial footage. It just got completely swamped. This is the second highest river gauge height that they've ever had in the 200-year history of the distillery being on that site. The river crested at 48.2. I read it earlier. Yeah, 48.24 feet. The highest is 48.27.
Is that measured from the bottom of the river bed?
From the riverbed up.
How deep is it normally?
That's a good question.
All right.
It's probably relatively deep because it's a decent sized river, but
yeah,
it could be anywhere from like 10 to 20 feet normal, but flood height is probably at 30.
Well, I mean, you're
get
definitely in double digits over.
Right. So
sure.
We're looking at, though, it cresting at 48 feet. Obviously, a lot of devastation there.
I was concerned about Mike Pompeo.
Why is that?
Where they have the copper.
You're thinking of Bourbon Pompeii.
Bourbon Pompeii.
Yeah.
Why is it called Bourbon Pompeii?
You've been there on the tour, dum-dum. It was their archaeological site. They uncovered it. You know what Pompeii is?
Well, obviously I understand, or I know the word Pompeii.
It doesn't sound like it. You already messed it up.
It's just a name. Is there a definition behind the word
You don't know
Pompeii?
what Pompeii is?
No.
Seriously?
Nope. Not a chance, Will.
Pompeii
I've never Googled that.
Ancient Italian city that was covered by a volcano.
I went back to 5th grade in my head.
Yeah.
I think I heard something.
So they call it that because they uncovered it and it was very well preserved. The original OFC distillery.
It's incredible down there. They
found that
vats or tubs,
but that's right on the river. You look out the window and the river's right there.
It's almost like when you look out those windows, Will, it's almost like you're at sea level.
Right.
Like it's right there.
So the distillery was supposed to be closed until at least Thursday, April 10th. They've now moved that back to April 11th, Friday, and they aim to reopen the visitor center in modified capacity as soon as possible. The Easter at the Trace Egg Hunt is canceled for this weekend, but they're saying they hope to get it with a modified capacity by Friday. Looking at those images, knowing how much of that original site was underwater, I think that's a tall order to get things safe. You think of
you've got all the structural issues,
potential bacterial growth and things that they have to clean up after a river floods. That includes, you have to think about when a river floods, that causes sewage lines to overflow and things of that nature. This is
it's nasty.
Big ordeal. You think of Warehouse H, that's all ground level underwater. You think all those barrels that have been submerged are probably scrapped. I mean, that's a write off.
If you've ever picked a barrel at Buffalo Trace, you go to Warehouse H. And I don't know if you've looked in there. There's a ton of barrels on that main floor. It's not just like you walk in and there's a tasting room only on the floor. It's like right there. And like there's Weller mash bills everywhere. And like you look at the dates and be like, well, that's 10 years old. Like, and that was years ago. So I don't even know what's in there right now. So we're going to lose a lot of good whiskey.
Aged stock. Now, fortunately, they have all those new rick houses are up on the hills.
Yep.
So I don't think that would have been affected. I think probably
the road getting to it,
that's probably washed out.
You can't, because Will and I went up there one time. I've got a video of that somewhere.
And you go over a bridge. That bridge was probably underwater.
100%.
It goes over the Kentucky River.
Yeah. Well, and then it does that. I don't know.
Well, you know
Hard
what?
to get
I
there.
think Buffalo Trace is probably so frustrated in perpetuity about ever doing E.H. Taylor Tornado.
Oh,
Because now
it's just the joke.
there's a devastating event and every bourbon group thinks they're so clever and they go, I've seen it 10,000 times at least.
flood surviving.
Flood surviving. Okay.
it's a thing.
They did it one time with one natural disaster. And now it's like they've had plenty of disaster since. And they haven't done a special edition release. But
Yeah.
so there's someone probably in the PR department that would never they're like, the distillery's flooded, and someone's like, oh, the joke's online.
Or it's like, you know what? Free marketing.
Yeah,
Fine.
could be.
Totally good with it.
Yeah,
I mean, at least a barrel house didn't fall down. You know,
that was at their other distillery.
that was at the Bartons.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Jack Daniels had that happen too.
They did too. Yeah. Everybody. They're all
Apparently, that's a thing.
they're things. Now, here's the deal. Is it called something different than Angel Share when there's water involved?
Yeah, it's called a write-off.
Right.
Yeah. It's called a total loss.
Okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I have
Will.
a feeling that
I like
those
that.
barrels are, I mean, just for safety. Like, I don't know that it's a porous material. There's cracks in it naturally, the way they put it together, even though they kind of sealed themselves. I don't know how, with the FDA and things that you could get away with, this barrel's probably fine. You know, are they going to test them all for microbes? And now it could be the opposite. It's like, well, it is high proof whiskey in there that sanitizes it. I don't know if I want to try that.
There's
whiskey.
a liability thing.
Yeah,
there.
I don't know that those bottles would probably get recalled real quick.
My question is do with whiskey inside of them, do the barrels float? Now, I know that they would be at the surface, but not above. I feel that we need a scientist, and I don't think we know.
Well, I don't know.
We know a doctor up in New York.
When you pour water and whiskey together, they don't separate. So I feel like they have a similar
Equal
they have
buoyancy.
a similar density.
Density.
Right. So if whiskey was heavier, then it would stay.
Yeah, but that barrel's heavy.
But if whiskey were lighter, it would definitely float.
They're just called barrel boats.
Barrel boats.
We're going to call them barrel boats.
Yeah. So anyhow, I mean, the imagery though is shocking of
It's
how much
truly
of the
shocking.
campus, and they just finished that visitor center recently, which was a long time coming to get that up to snuff, and
It's unfortunate.
it is not a good
And it's going to
situation.
take them a while. I mean, they've got insurance stuff to go through. They've got safety protocols to go through. They've got to find out what whiskey they have and they don't. Bear with Buffalo Trace. They're in a bad situation. However, somebody could have won big time on this, Will.
Okay. I don't know where you're going or if I'm going to like it.
If let's just say you and I were staying at the George C. Stagg Lodge,
Yeah.
and the bridge coming down from that no longer intact, you are essentially up on that hill with 200,000 barrels of whiskey staying in an incredible borderline mansion
Yeah.
for days.
Yeah. You better hope you have a drill and a plug.
Yeah, it's called
You get some chewing gum.
it's called an extended stay.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, if somebody was up there during all this, good on you.
I feel like if someone was up there trapped, they just got like a barrel pick for life. I mean, like, honestly, Buffalo Trace, like, we are so sorry.
We are.
You have. It's like, remember those game shows where it'd be like, you got a lifetime supply of Hershey's chocolate for like the consolation prize,
or just regular mail.
Yeah, they are trying to not get some sort of lawsuit if someone were to be up there.
I mean, what would the lawsuit be? Shame on y'all. Like,
I mean, I don't know.
Not well. I mean, they could.
There was no escape route in.
Yeah. Now there are in the back area. There is like a service entrance, like going.
Greeze has scouted all the ingress points. So if he's got to make a run for it with a truckload of barrels,
they don't bring the bulldozers. Will up that road.
No, there's no way.
There's a service entrance somewhere. So I'm assuming that's available potentially. I don't know.
What if they helicoptered him in?
Okay, now we're talking. But if you were the people that were stuck on the hill, not saying anybody was. If
they were, they helicoptered him out.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Yeah, real fast after the tornado because the wind and the helicopters, they don't like each other.
Not good.
Yeah, they don't like each other. But we just want to say... I'm not going to say that.
Well, they do say in coming weeks, Buffalo Trace looks forward to sharing details on forthcoming relief initiatives to further support the community. Should you want to support relief efforts in the immediate, the Franklin County Flood Relief Fund has been set up by the city to collect donations and offer aid to those in need it most. I also saw the Buffalo Trace Distillery is getting a lot of news because it's a famous landmark. But I saw images of downtown Frankfort and other portions of Franklin County, and it was just as bad. Yeah. So it wasn't just exclusive to the distillery. So while we look at that, there are a lot of people, not just whose livelihoods because of their work at the distillery, but people whose homes and businesses were also destroyed that also don't have the billions of dollars of resources that Buffalo Trace do.
Yeah.
So
or potentially
they are
no
going to share
flood
that.
insurance.
But if you want to support the community that is around that, you can go check that out. Franklin Flood Relief Fund.
Thanks for finding that, Will. That's nice of you.
Well, Buffalo Trace told me about it. So.
Oh, they called you?
No, Instagram post.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was nice of them.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So there's also, we were talking about there was some devastation in western part of Tennessee near Memphis. Some smaller towns outside of Memphis. One was Selmer, Tennessee.
Selmer. And I'll be honest with you, not many people know where Selmer is.
Yeah. I even had to look it up. Yeah.
Now we do.
Because, and this got shared a lot in whiskey groups as well, that there was a liquor store that was completely destroyed and almost everything around it.
Yeah.
But standing tall in the middle of it is the shelf. And there's been posts like
it's not a shelf, dude. It's a shelf sounds small. This is
like a liquor store shelf, like an aisle.
But it's like it looks like it's like 3 aisles deep, like a big square.
The bottles just all still intact.
They're not even. All the shelves are filled, and all of these bottles are vertical on that shelf.
Now, normally, Greeze, whenever he sees something on the internet, is immediately like, can you believe this incredible thing? Like, this person has been raising someone from the planet Jupiter for 12 years. And he's like, can you believe it? And I'm like, Greeze, it says parody account at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
But in this, for the first time ever, he goes, do you think this is real?
I did.
But I did. He did, which to his credit, because he's like, I know how hard it is to keep liquor bottles on a shelf.
I just didn't believe it.
But I actually went and started looking into it.
Yeah. I watched the videos of the owner and stuff like that. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah. The owner, which I saw a lot of other reports that he's out there like going to individual homes trying to help people.
Yeah.
Like pick through the devastation. But
I did see a bunch of comments on that says he's actually a really great guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's totally like known in the community. Own the liquor store, and obviously, I think even that shelf that's still standing is probably considered a total loss by insurance.
Not a total loss,
but it's one of those things that sometimes when I look at that, and how quickly, especially when you're detached from something, like something can become a meme within, like even Facebook groups in Bourbon, and it's like. that person just lost his entire business.
100%.
You know, and we're all like, look at them shelves. What can you zoom in?
Yeah, zoom
What's
in.
he got on the
holy
shelf?
crap, is that a Rio? Is that a Penelope Rio?
But I mean, in reality, that's like, I guess sometimes that's maybe a natural defense mechanism as humans. Like you see something so horrific and you try to find the path of least resistance to absorbing it. And it's like, oh, the shelf's still standing.
That's Enneagram 7, Will.
Oh, is that, I don't know that voodoo.
Yep.
So
Yeah, they don't.
You and Dustin Pede with your voodoo pentagrams. And,
Dustin, you get me.
Yeah.
Cheers.
The devil's work is what I say. But all that to say, like, it was once again devastating across the South. Arkansas got hit really hard. West Tennessee, Kentucky. I mean, the flooding even here in Nashville was very bad. And at times we had a 100-year flood back in 2010, but the amount of rain that was in the forecast, even on Sunday, if it had have panned out, which it fortunately did not, they were concerned about a similar event happening only 15 years later of that 100-year flood. So it was the floodwaters, the tornadoes.
You don't want to change the 100-year flood to the 15-year flood. Right. That is not where you want to be.
Right. So let's definitely dodged a bullet here in our community, but not necessarily our neighbors to the north or even to the west of us. So.
Dude, let's go back to that store in the images. Like completely, like there's nothing standing. Everything is dead. Everything is thrown everywhere. It looks like a tornado went through it. And that shelves, whatever, completely unscathed. Are we dealing with an angel share, Will? Are we dealing with an angel share? The angels were like, hell no.
I love that you said it looked like a tornado went through it. Yeah. When that's exactly what happened.
It did happen.
It was crazy. It looked like an actual tornado.
It looks like
ripped through there. But yeah, no, it was like all the buildings all around it did the exact same. They were all leveled.
Yeah.
Except for that one thing, which there's like, tornadoes are such weird things because. All right, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. But no, but like you can see that.
I agree.
Where like a tornado will take out an entire street, but like a residential street, but on the other side of the street, 25 feet away.
Yeah, it's fine.
Nothing has happened. Yeah. Like that is just such a weird phenomenon of how destructive they can be. But at times it is so pinpointed that it's like, it's still 200-mile-an-hour winds we're kicking out over here, but all this entire side of the street completely fine. Or we're going to level everything, but for some reason, the way the physics happened, it protected this middle row of a liquor store.
Yeah.
Like that's wild.
It's so wild, dude. I don't know why my wife and I did this, but we watched the Joplin tornado documentary.
Oh yeah, of course. Like my wife and I were going to watch stuff on TV after, and we were out of town. And our kids were with my
algorithm popped
here, and we turned on Netflix, and it's like Joplin tornado. We're like, no.
Yeah, no, we did.
Like, absolutely not.
Well, we did.
Well, you are a glutton for punishment.
Dude, and the guy that got sucked out of that tornado, like they ended up getting this like bacteria virus thing that literally like ate them from the insides. Like
that's horrifying.
I know that's terrifying. So I'm going back to the Buffalo Trace situation, and being like, I wouldn't drink that whiskey.
Right.
That's all I'm.
Well, but then that also raises bigger questions too. Well, first of all, that wasn't the tornado. This is the flood water in itself. But like, I don't know the chemistry and the science between like just having that much water in the building and creating the humidity factor, and it's all wood in there. Absorbing different particles and stuff of what that does. Like those warehouses full of whiskey could be a total loss at some point.
I mean, I know about mold, as I've said 7 years ago.
I'm pretty sure it was 8.5.
I know about mold.
Yeah.
And
you, Kevin.
The other things a part of flooding and water and tornado juice or whatever it's called, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Well, I was
tornado juice threw you off, did it?
No, I was going to say, this conversation is like revealing weird nerdy quirks about me. It's like I watched this whole video like 3 weeks ago about why we may never see another EF5 rated tornado.
Yeah. Okay. Please go into this. Okay. This is pretty fascinating.
So now bear with me, because
now let's not bury the lead.
No, let's not take me as the expert, or even if this person on YouTube was the expert, but this is what I think I gathered. Yep. And it was that like early 2000s, maybe 2013, there was an EF5 rated, and we haven't seen an EF5 since then. But the destruction of a lot of the tornadoes we're seeing are more destructive than like even some that were rated EF5. And I'm pretty sure what this person was saying was that almost when the scale was created that had, EF0 through EF5, like they only had limited resources for the data collection. It was created way before all the technology we have today. And that to get to that rating, like the sustained winds have to be at X point for so long. And because we're so much better at gathering data, that it's hard for it to hit those numbers of the scale.
So you're saying previously the data was bad. They would be like, we'll say it's an EF5.
Essentially is what it like, or just based off of their aftermath, what they could tell. Now that we actually can pinpoint more of the internal stuff with all the radar and all this stuff, that it's harder to actually get to that. And we may never again, because our technology keeps getting better. But that doesn't mean the storms are getting less powerful.
Right.
It means that a lot of these storms could be EF5s historically if we had worse technology.
Do you know
it makes you think.
Air cannons?
I don't know of these.
The things you pull back and
yeah. I know
and it's
those.
like this, like, I don't know, like 1 hertz signal or something like that.
I don't know if you know what hertz are. You're banned from them. You can't use those.
I'm banned from what? Oh, hertz.
Yeah. Lifetime.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually planning a trip up to Chicago, and I'm not going to be able to rent the car. I actually let the other family know that we're going to go with, so they're going to have to do that. And
is there only one rental car dealership?
So Hertz owns a few, and they speak to each other.
Well, yeah, but
I can do enterprise.
Yeah,
I can't do budget. I can't do dollar. I can't do Hertz.
Like what Avis? You could do Avis.
I don't know. Is Hertz and Avis?
Oh, are they big rivals?
Big rivals. Open season.
Yeah, you do Avis.
I'm totally fine. They're not sharing any data with each other.
No.
That's great.
Maybe they are, though. Maybe they sent out like, hey, here's a courtesy email.
They sent me a courtesy email saying, if you get any information on car deals through Hertz, please disregard.
If you get a coupon, that was sent in error.
That's what. That was one of them too. It was sitting there. Yeah. All right. Well, Will, we've got another thing that is come about that we think is very in tune with the bourbon bust.
I can't wait to hear it. I forgot.
The Calumet ceramic.
Oh, yeah, I didn't forget.
The Calumet ceramic limited edition farm. Guys, we are back. We're back. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, this is the heyday of trying to sell bourbon again. Like, please. Because that's all the decanters, all the historic decanters that you've seen that are everywhere. If you go to any antique shop, you can find 1,000 of them, mostly empty, sometimes not. But they were the ceramic decanters of literally almost anything you can imagine. Greeze has a fox riding a dolphin.
It's somewhere. Right over there.
Yeah. And it's like, that eventually got made because, and it was mostly 80 to 86 proof bourbon going into these, the Calumet farm. They are releasing this. I'm sure Greeze will put it on the screen if he remembers. But it's a ceramic farm. We are maybe 6 months away from another dolphin fox.
We are, yeah. This is a Beam, and they used to just do the months, and it says this is 100 months old. So like 8 years, close to it.
Yeah, it's definitely not
8 years, 8 years, 4 months. 80 proofer. But yeah, dude, they were trying to get rid of whiskey however they could, and you just start throwing them in these things.
This was specifically the South Florida Jim Beam Bottle Club of Miami, Florida, had a commemorative decanter made. Like, I mean, first of all, good on Miami for having a Jim Beam Bottle Club when these bad boys were coming out. But this was 70s and 80s that these were popular.
I mean,
this one,
80s Wild Turkey. Wild Turkey was huge in the game in the 80s. There are so many. Is it ceramic? What is it?
Yeah, ceramic.
They are ceramic,
porcelain,
ceramic.
Yeah.
But
you got to be worried about lead paint leaching in.
Yeah. Is Calumet? Did they?
I think that's all. I don't think you can have any lead paint in America anymore. So
why would they paint the inside?
It wasn't. It's that ceramic is porous, and they were concerned about it leaching
through the outside.
Yeah. It's a leaching problem.
Everything's porous.
Yeah, barrels.
There's a lot of porous.
Ceramic. Your skin.
Yeah,
literally covered with pores.
Your bank account,
yours especially,
pore.
You just got a sieve.
Yeah,
leaking like a sieve.
My bank account just looks like a freaking one of those things at like a metro train station. You know, the little thing that you go through.
Yeah.
What is that?
Turnstile.
Turnstile.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what my bank account looks like right now. I don't own any money.
When you got auto pay on, it just goes bing, 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 bing. Yeah.
Crypto's looking great though, guys. It's looking good. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. We're going to weather this storm.
Man, crypto's too tied to the stock market these days.
All right, so
they were supposed to be inversely related, and someone sold us a bill of goods on that. Thanks, Elon.
Yeah. The question I have is that, do you really feel like it is what happened? What happened?
That just tickled me. I don't know why.
What did I say?
Nothing. You said, I don't know. I tickled myself. Thanks, Elon. Then I'm like, I feel like drunk uncle right now as I'm taking a sip and I almost spit it back out. So, and I'm here.
I would tell my Arby's story.
No, please. Oh,
but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I had a very interesting story in Arby's. Me and this other guy were the only people in the restaurant. He was 6 tables away yelling at me, but we were having a very civil conversation about a lot of things that I don't want to talk about.
He was speaking loudly. Instead of coming over and joining you at the table.
No, he came up to my table first, and then he went and got his food and sat down really far away, but then decided, I'm going to keep this conversation going. He thought I was a trucker.
Yeah, felt like a trap.
He thought I was a trucker. What about me looks like a trucker?
Because I'm sure, knowing you've had these same clothes on for 6 days
at least. I have a feminine walk.
You do have a dainty gait.
Dainty gait.
But then also, I mean, you're sitting there with a hat on that says, let them cook, because Lord knows you haven't changed that hat in a minute. And he thinks, you know what?
I do like this hat.
This guy wants to talk about politics.
I don't. I really don't.
An Arby's truck stop.
Yeah, I will say this. He asked a lot of specific questions, and I would respond, we'll see. That's all I know. We'll see, man. What do you think about old so-and-so? I'm like, man, I guess you just got to pray for him. I was just trying to keep it so vanilla. I'm like, just get me out of here. I don't care. I don't want to. I don't want to do this right now. I'm off work.
Right.
I just took my dog to go have puppies. Like I'm a shell of a human being.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want to get home.
Typically you are. Yeah.
I ate 2 roast beef sandwiches.
Beef and cheddar?
And fries. No, beef and cheddar was on sale, but I did not
You
go
didn't
there.
get you went to Arby's and just got plain beef?
No, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
you're uncivilized.
You absolutely go to town on Arby's sauce, though. Like, it's not just plain.
You get beef and cheddar and add Arby's sauce, yes, or horsey sauce, one of each.
Everybody has their thing.
But you go and get plain, flavorless, compressed Arby's roast beef?
Yes, because I was poor as a kid, and the only time we really got to eat out was when there was the 5 for $5 Arby's roast beef coupon.
And you still could get a beef and cheddar with that.
No.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could.
No, the beef and cheddar was like 4 for $5.
Maybe in your poor town, but you could get it in Atlanta.
Have you ever tried to reheat a beef and cheddar in the microwave?
Does it sizzle? I bet it sizzles.
I bet it turns to plastic.
I bet it's like aluminum foil in the microwave just starts sparking.
Yeah.
You hear pop, pop, pop,
Yeah.
pop, and you're like, there goes the microwave.
I don't know where I was headed before the Arby's story.
I don't either.
But there was something I was going to say.
Yeah, and then I derailed it when I spit in my glass.
Do you think that the ceramic thing that Calumet is releasing, do you think that really is an indicator of more to come?
Yes.
I do too. Like, I mean, I know we can sit here and say like, no, it's a one-off, like whatever. Like, I don't think, here's the deal. In their mind or their talking points, it might be a one-off.
Sure.
But I don't see, but who's going to buy that in today's market, Will?
I don't
Who's
know.
going to buy it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Like, I feel like if it were Jim Beam or Jack Daniels or Buffalo Trace, like a much more established brand,
yeah.
You may start to get people be like, I'll buy that, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, ain't nobody going to go there and be like, give me a case. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen. And speaking, I don't know. The Buffalo Trace might lose a lot of stock in this, a lot of aged stock. And we might not see all those things that we said we were going to see on the shelves.
Because you know what? We aren't fortune tellers. We don't know there's going to be a historic flood that's going to ruin their stock.
Yeah. They should have had people out there praying.
Yeah.
Throwing their arms at the flood waters.
No.
Said, you will not come here.
No, it didn't work.
It didn't.
All right.
You ready for the 15, Will?
Let's go to the 15.
Hit the music. Bam. All right, I'm going to, by the way, all right, well, I need to talk about this on the chef show.
All right, one second. I'm going to see how much this costs.
Okay. Well, while we're waiting, this dolphin, I don't know if you can see its eyes. It is not excited.
No, just wait and do that on that.
And where does the dolphin breathe? It's somewhere in here.
It's being suffocated.
What is also in this vicinity of a fox where that blowhole is? Not the greatest design.
All right, you ready? Yep. And we're back from the 15.
Some say we never left, Will.
All right, we're going to try something new. We got a little sampler.
Oh, yeah.
This is from our friends over at Whiskey Gypsy, our buddy Raj, who is always so kind and generous to send us things.
Yeah, super cool.
When they come out, as well as, Ari Sussman is their master blender.
Yeah.
From
Ari does a great job.
Three chord. Yep. Also this, but
I want a name like Raj.
I know he's awesome.
No, yes, he's awesome, but I want I don't have a cool name.
This is true. You have the two most vanilla names, and you go by your middle name because both are so vanilla.
Jason, Matthew.
Yeah.
I go by Matt. Let me go ahead and tell you what that's like in a government agency. Not great. I had to one time write I had to sign my name next to 12 pseudonyms because I have 12 identities. They think I'm 12 different people. It was great. Are you J.M. Giesler? Yep.
So
Jason.
there's this funny thing at Auburn where, the first day of class, they're calling roll to make sure everybody's in the class that is supposed to be there on their list. And
call you Spurgeon?
No, but one thing that it was an English professor once pointed out is that for some reason, it would have everyone's first, middle, and last name, but then some would have their first, middle, initial, and last name. And he said every single time that the middle initial was there instead of the name, those people went by their middle name.
Just in his class?
No, he said every single section he's ever taught when on the first day. So he would go, and he'd say we'll say Smith. He's like, Smith, what do you go by? And he's like, Paul. Yep, because it says Jason P. Smith every single time. So, weird anomalies.
So they're not there. That feels woke.
Oh, I don't know, man.
It's woke.
Yeah, probably.
Everything's woke.
All right, so this is Whiskey Gypsy Tribute, and this is a double-barreled bourbon, a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys.
You poured that in here.
Yeah, I did.
I was like, that's not the 2XO. French oak.
So this says it is, unlike most bourbons, we use rare, flavorful, varietal stated grains, including once scarce, previously near extinct Cherokee white corn grown by small family farms, not commodity grains from large commercial farming operations. Our whiskey maker, Ari Sussman's alma mater, Michigan State, helped reclaim the sustainably raised heirloom grains intended for whiskey making, not bread, which we actually had a long conversation. And we keep telling our friends over at Three Chord and at Whiskey Gypsy that we're going to have Ari on at some point. We just got to schedule it because
he spoke at Whiskey Weekend one year and it was fascinating.
And his story about wanting to go after these flavorful grains and all the attention that he's put into it is fascinating.
Didn't he buy like an island?
Yeah, there's a rye that they grow on this island that's in the middle of like one of the Great Lakes that it's only grown there so that it won't cross-pollinate. So that it will stay purely that strain of rye that they brought back. And it's put on this island specifically so that, and it's far enough into the Great Lakes so that there won't be cross-pollination, which is amazing.
That's pretty fascinating. I don't know how pollination works.
So this,
I mean, I know how Laura got pregnant, but I don't know about cross-pollination.
Yeah. So this is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, aged a minimum of 4 years, and then rebarreled for an additional 3 to 6 months in another new American oak barrel. So it's not finished in a used barrel or some other thing. And while double barreling
about the mash bill,
while double barreling adds significant expense, it imparts rich vanilla and caramel notes. And they've bottled this at 86 proof. So it's lower proof, double barreled, younger on the initial spirit, and then gets more flavor from that double barreling. And let's dive in.
Yeah, I mean, 86 proof, it is lighter in color than we're used to from the Gypsy side of things.
Oh, the nose is really, really nice on this.
I mean, the legacy is pretty dark.
Yeah, but that has very old whiskeys in it.
Yeah, it does.
On the back, it shows you.
3 aged whiskeys in this one, 7 and 8, 20 years and 4 years. And the 20-year whiskey they used was a Canadian rye, and it's 21% of this. So you can get pretty old Canadian products right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can right now.
Well, give him a couple years.
So the Explorer series is one of my favorite like unsung heroes of the whiskey world right now. It is unbelievably good, and it's like $60, 6-year-old whiskey. You can find it on most shelves.
You took that home, right? You have that one at the house?
I have drunk through. No, that one is long gone, and I have bought more at the store.
Okay,
because they have it at the liquor store by my house, and when I go in to get like a bottle of wine or something,
here comes Gypsy.
Grab it because it's so good.
They know you.
They don't.
You're pinned up. Your picture
not,
is pinned up in the back office.
Greeze, you know that liquor store. They are not great.
They are not.
Service. They are not Turok. They are not any great liquor store. They're
not aware.
No, most of the time they don't even know you're trying to pay.
Right.
So that's a problem.
Yeah.
Small store. But they do have this right by my house, so I get it often there. The Explorer series. So this is the tribute, double barreled. It doesn't say the grained bill on the website.
Yeah,
but
I'm getting some good spice to it. It's a very light, delicate spice.
Light spice, good oak flavor. The finish is surprisingly robust.
Yeah,
like
it's a flavor bomb.
I'm just sitting there with it, and it's 86 proof whiskey.
I think we should have more.
I still have some in mind, but
that's unfortunate. I'll just
there we go. Yeah, that's fine.
Just gonna do a little topper. Well, good old floater on top. Can you float the same whiskey and whiskey?
There's no law against it.
Right.
Let's see. I'm very for an 86 proofer. I'm very pleased with this.
And this is what, $45 or something, like
$44.99.
$44.99.
$45.
This is worth every penny of $44.99.
This is
I put this around the Four Roses Batch Select.
Oh, okay.
I kind of put that in that realm of quality.
With that, even though that's 107 proof.
I know. I'm just saying the flavor.
Yeah.
Do I have one right here? I'm just saying, like, Yeah, that flavor profile, as far as the price point meeting the robustness of the flavor, is very reminiscent.
They
of the
proof it down before the rebarreling, which is interesting.
Huh.
So they proof it down. So
I wonder why.
I don't know. I mean, you would almost think more alcohol would extract more flavor during that, but whatever they did it right.
Okay, but with more in the barrel, you are getting a higher fill, which is actually pulling in more oak.
You're hitting more surface area.
Yeah.
I get that.
That's interesting. I haven't thought about that. I wonder if that's the reason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's a quote from Raj Alva, who's our buddy. Typically companies won't do all this because it takes more time and costs more money. But if you're committed to making a better bourbon, you not only use the best distilling and blending practices, you start with the very finest grains that make up the whiskey in the first place and go above and beyond conventional processes at every level of production. That's what we did with Tribute.
Better ingredients, better whiskey. Gypsy.
Papa Raj.
Papa Raj. I want that on a shirt.
So, and that's what I've really loved about these Whiskey Gypsy releases is that one, they've all been very robust and had really good flavor. The Explorer is like of 2024, one of the whiskeys of the year for me. Like I absolutely love that whiskey. But this, when you look at it, technically it's co-owned by Eric Church.
Right.
And so this is so far away from a celebrity branded spirit.
Yeah.
Because it's one, other than like the Whiskey Gypsy and the Gypsy spirit, that name kind of comes from his like troubadour status, kind of as this songwriter. But other than that, like it doesn't like on the shelf, even it doesn't scream Eric Church whiskey,
celebrity bourbon. Yeah.
So it's like
it's almost like he's like a ghostwriter.
Yeah. Like it's like you'd think that, well, first of all, if they didn't have good whiskey, they would have to lean more into it being 100%. Eric Church's whiskey. But I think on the label, it doesn't say, I don't think it says anything about Eric Church.
That's how I feel about Long Branch. I don't like Long Branch.
Well, because that was a brand from Wild Turkey trying to capitalize just on a
McConaughey
name. Right.
Yeah, the old McConaughey. All right.
But this, I feel like, one, it is cool that Eric Church is co-owner and involved in it, but the whiskey speaks for itself. It doesn't have to be a celebrity brand to make sales.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is said even in the packaging and in the whiskey itself. Like it is not...
They just need
I haven't had a bad whiskey from them, and I know that a lot of that is because it's people like Raj and Ari that know what they're doing and are committed to making good whiskey, and they have a partnership with someone like Eric Church that elevates that. But it is so far from a celebrity brand where you drink these and you're like, they are doing things so well. At $45. I don't care if you're a proof snob. This is worth.
Dude, there's great
every
whiskey
penny
in the 80s, like in the 80s proof point.
This
there's
though,
great
it doesn't taste like an 80 proof whiskey. One of the biggest flaws in 80 proof whiskey is that it goes away so quick.
Yes,
there's no finish. This very long finish.
Yeah, it gets you in the jowls a little bit.
Very robust.
It's not like it doesn't consume. It doesn't. Like,
it also doesn't have a burn because of its proof. Like it is very drinkable, but you don't sacrifice that finish because of the proof in making it drinkable. It's drinkable, like chuggable, because of how soft and developed in ways, and also proof down. But you take this, and I'm still tasting it.
Yeah, I'm still tasting it,
and I haven't had a sip in a couple minutes. Like it is very flavorful.
Yeah. It does stick around. It's not like a viscous or sticky or anything like that.
No,
it's
the mouthfeel is definitely what
a lower proof would
you get from a lower proof, but the flavor is still there, still rich.
Yeah.
If you had my daughter got from the school library like the Who Would Win. You know that book?
My daughter reads books.
No, you know that book, The Who Would Win? It's like great battles from history. It's like T-Rex versus Velociraptor.
No, that sounds awesome.
It is awesome. She brought this book home, and I'm like, that I'm taking for a little bit.
Yep. Or do you
gotta
read
read that.
Do you
It's
read
awesome.
it to her at night?
Nah, she can read on her own.
Oh, my kids read on their own.
But this is now a great battle of history. Calumet Decanter at 86 proof. Gypsy Tribute at 86.
I mean, we need to. I mean, here's the deal: we're going to be able to get one of those decanters pretty easily.
I think they're going to be. It's going to take up so much shelf space. It's oblong.
No,
it's like
I just want to. I want to get it and I want to try it
from the bottle.
And so everybody.
Only way to drink that.
I mean, we need to lay down on top of this fire for our listeners.
Yeah.
And let them know if it's good or not.
The problem is that you are such a gimmick buyer that of course you're going to buy the porcelain decanter on the shelf.
I mean, you know, actually, it looks awful. It looks it's
a
not
barn.
cool. Like I like
It's just a horse barn.
Lusty Claw, huge fan of the bottling. I have the Derringer. Obviously, a huge fan of the Derringer. I like Blanton's. I like the daggum horses. I liked that samurai topper on that daggum. What was it? It was a
World Whiskey
15-year-old
Society or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was freaking awesome. I don't see any other toppers, but I'm super in. I like a good gimmick. Everybody knows that. But I will say this: the last thing I want to buy, like, oh my gosh, I got to have that barn. Like on what plant? Like
You never liked a barn. This is one thing I can say for sure.
in fact, I don't like barns.
He hates them.
I hate barns.
He's burnt a few down.
I've filmed.
It was
some.
for insurance money, but we don't like to talk about that, especially current.
What's that goth like dragon thing? What's that on?
No, this is all World Whiskey Society ones. I was looking for the samurai.
Yeah,
there we
it is.
go.
Nope, that's the 6 year.
Well, we had an older one, but it's the Manzanara barrel. And
Manzanara.
It had literally a samurai topper.
I'll be honest with you, that 15-year-old Mezzanara finished whiskey, that was actually pretty good. It was pretty good.
Like $300.
It was $300.
Stupid.
Pass on $300.
Oh, look at that.
Although it was pretty good.
They make a Reposado tequila that comes in an iguana bottle.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
The other night.
Wait, was that another decant? Like,
Shotgun Shell,
What is
Ducks
that?
Unlimited. Oh, yeah. Oh, they have a Ducks Unlimited porcelain decanter.
and guess what?
Sold out.
It's sold out. It's working.
Here it was. No,
Well, hell, there's half of a night.
they have a bunch of nights.
We're talking like full on like metal helmets.
The other night, because we were out of town, the night we got home, our son, he was so excited that we were awake, or that we were home, that he stayed up till like midnight, just talking our ears off, like just wanted to talk. And so I'm like in his room, laying in bed, trying to get him to go to sleep. And then he just goes, "Excuse me." And I go, "Yes." He goes, "I want a pet." And I go, "Okay." I go, "What kind of pet do you want?"
Excuse me, Dad.
And he goes, "A pet is an animal." And I go,
Does it matter?
I know. I said, "What kind of animal do you want?" He goes, maybe a lizard. And I said, "Okay, what would you name that lizard?" He goes, "Blackberry." I'm like, dadgummit, that's a pretty good name for a lizard.
Listen, you know what he's gonna get?
A lizard named Blackberry.
100% he is. Are you gonna get like one of those expensive ones, like a gecko,
I don't know. I don't know how
or
much
like
they
the
cost.
fire dragon lizard, or whatever it is?
No, bearded dragons are cheap.
Bearded dragons
Like
are they?
$10.
Geckos on.
I mean, I don't know inflation, but I had iguana. I had an iguana when I was, get this, I had an iguana. His name was the Riddler.
Okay.
Because it was like, I got it around the time Batman Forever came out.
Yeah,
when
I
I was a
figured
kid.
that.
Jim Carrey, great. So I had the Riddler. I was on vacation one time and some punk who was taking care of it, it died on his watch.
Yeah.
Jason. But then I got another one to replace it. You know what I named it?
Penguin.
Riddler 2.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go. I mean,
Riddler 2.
Listen, when you find a perfect name, you got to figure out how to do it again.
Yeah, it's not. Of course, I'm not just going to rename it Riddler. That's offensive to the dead. So,
By the way, on this website, there's another decanter that's shaped like a unicorn, and you pour the whiskey out of its head, and it's a 10-year-old Kentucky bourbon unicorn bottle. And it is also sold out.
So
the regular bottles,
I will say one thing. So this is the World Whiskey Society, which that Manzanara bottle that we were talking about. I just clicked all products, and a lot of theirs are limited runs. So there's a lot of things on here that are sold,
there for like
that are
3 years
sold
ago?
out, because you can go to current collection as well.
Okay.
And so that's where,
Semantics.
and then I think that was a members only thing. So, cause it says in Society Flask. So just throwing that out there, that maybe it's not as absurd as,
Okay,
I mean, it is absurd, but
So there are clubs out there that love a good gimmick. they like a good fox and dolphin.
yeah. Oh, Doc Holliday? Isn't that the one you had?
Yes, it was no, but that one was a 15-year-old Doc Holiday.
Yeah, 15-year-old Doc Holiday.
Yes,
That was World
$3.99.
Whiskey Society. Also a gimmicky bottle. It's got a skull of a longhorn on the front.
It does. And
What's $400?
What's the proof on it?
Doesn't say.
Oh, on the bottom it doesn't? Oh man, that's a bummer. Cause it's the highest proof whiskey I've ever had. Can you zoom in on the bottle and see it?
Peach. Nope. It just says cast strength.
Yeah, cast strength, and I don't
So
know
it may
what
vary.
I don't know what the fill proof was on it, but it had to have been like 160.
Yeah, no, it was insane, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it is. Yeah, I think it's close to 160 proof that I had. Yeah. And I'll say this much: it consumed every part of my senses on the alcohol side.
Yeah.
But then the flavor came in. I'm like, you know what? That's freaking good. And I was like, man, if I had $400, I would totally get it, because it is one of those. It's one of those that you would pour everybody that came into your house like a little tinge of, and be like, you got to have this.
What's the proof on that French oak?
The French oak? It's low, 92.
I may say something blasphemy because of our good friend Dixon Dedman.
Okay, tell him. I'll text him.
I like the Whiskey Gypsy Tribute better than the French oak.
Okay, there's no compare. You can't compare those.
You can. You actually can.
You can if you hold one in your left and one in your right.
That's
hand.
literally what I'm doing right now.
Oh, do you want this one?
No, that's what's still in here.
Oh.
This was that.
Okay, so you're saying it edges. It edged.
They're both great whiskeys, but I'm saying pound for pound, I like the flavor on the Tribute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're both, that's about $50. This is $45. If you were doing a straight comparison of price range and you could only pick one, if you could pick two, buy both of them, I give the edge to the Whiskey Gypsy. Don't let Dixon see this.
And I think the edge goes to the finish.
Yeah. Yeah. The
like,
finish on the Tribute lasts a lot longer.
Time. French oak is hanging around.
No, it's good.
But it's not like you're tasting the whiskey like the Gypsy actually feels like you have whiskey still in your mouth.
Yeah.
And which is pretty, it's pretty cool.
So good on you, folks at Whiskey Gypsy. Thank you, Raj, and folks at Whiskey Gypsy for sending us this. They have been
$45, Will. Buy.
Yeah,
it's a buy.
Yeah, I've already said it. That's
easy buy.
It's and check their stuff out. Like I said, the Explorer series is really good. Is it the Legacy?
Legacy
is that the other one?
That's the first one, right?
So there's been 2 Legacy releases.
Batch number 1. Oh,
and then you have batch 2 up
batch
there
2
as well.
Legacy. Yeah.
And those are more expensive. That's kind of their more premium of the 3. It appears that it's almost like a top, middle, and
it's somewhere, Will.
but yeah, the Legacy series, they had the Alchemist was batch 2, and batch 1 I think was just Legacy. I don't know if it had a name, but yeah. So I mean, once again, great whiskeys. They're doing great stuff. Love it. I mean, these are the brands I want to elevate right now. So if you are, because you know why, the Legacy brands are going to survive the downturn.
Yeah.
The Legacy
Beam,
brands are
Roses.
going to survive. They don't need you right now. They do, but they don't need you right now. In a time where it's like people are going to start picking and choosing what they're buying, support some of these brands that I want to last.
Yeah.
I want Whiskey Gypsy to be around.
And one of
when
those
the dust
factors,
settles.
Will, for the big brands is their international like growth.
Right.
And so, here in the United States, for those brands like Dixon Devon's 2XO, the Gypsy series, like all of that stuff, they're not international. And so I agree with you, Will. I think the other brands can
and even if
survive
they have some international distro, it is very small comparatively.
Oh, right.
And they don't have a marketing budget to go run billboards in Japan for Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's just not what they're going to be able to spend money on.
They're not, they're not attempting to, blow up the bourbon industry in India.
Right.
I
mean, I'm telling you. Untapped market.
It's
because those daggum tariffs are 150%.
It's untapped. Hey, they're down, Will.
Down to 100.
They're down. No, I thought they went. Was it 150 down to 100 or 200 down to 150?
No, 150 down to 100.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Just double.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Show. Go to patreon.com/thepodcast. Or if you want a quick, easy, free way to support this show, like and subscribe. That helps too. Thanks everyone for watching. We don't know jack,
but we'll drink it.